Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I'm going to show you today how to fix the user profile service error. This appears on Windows Vista and on Windows 7. As you can see, I've got a Windows Vista machine here. There are three methods I know of fixing this, and I'm going to show you all three. So you can try each one until you've got one that works for you. Now, although I'm using Vista, these methods will work for 7 as well. So don't worry if you're on Windows 7, you'll be fine. So, method 1, we're going to reboot into safe mode with command prompt. So we're going to shut the computer down. We'll just head back to the login screen and turn it off. So to get into safe mode, we're going to spam the F8 key. We're going to wait for the Dell screen to go away and then just start tapping. And as you can see, we've now been given the advanced boot options. We're going to select safe mode with command prompt. Safe mode with command prompt, it gives you a command prompt before the desktop loads. Now, this method doesn't always work. However, if it does work, it saves you from having to start doing more exotic things, which we'll get to later. It may give us direct access to the registry editor, which is ultimately what we need to fix this. Right, so we're going to put in our password as normal. And if we're lucky, we should now get a command prompt. Now, on some machines, it may just throw the same error message back at you again. And if you see the error message, this method is not going to work and you'll have to skip on to the next one. If it does work, you'll see something like this. So, from this command prompt, we're going to type in regedit, R-E-G-E-D-I-T, and press enter. And that's going to give us the registry editor. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go to HKey local machine, software, Microsoft, Windows, sorry I lie, we need to go to Windows NT, current version, then profile list. There it is, and let's just widen this out. And what we'll see, now I've actually fixed the error on this laptop before in the past, and unfortunately it's repeated it, but we'll get to that a bit later. Now, these are the three ones. Now, the actual user profile is this one here. We know this is the real one because it's got the actual correct profile path up here. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of the current one, which is at the top. And as you can see, that's leading to a temp profile. So we're going to rename this to .old. Now, I've already got a .old, so I'm going to put this one as .old2. And then we're going to rename the backup one to just, well, that. And now, next time the profile is loaded, it will load from this one with the correct profile path. So, that's it. We're now done. When we reload it, that will work. So let's just close that and we'll do shutdown RT0. That's shutdown restart in T-0 seconds. Okay, option 2. This is my preferred method, but the only reason why it's my preferred method is because I have a suitable setup for it. However, if you do have the setup, it's the fastest way. You're going to need another computer with a USB bridge. Now, I'm going to take the hard drive out of this laptop. Now, on this particular Dell is literally 2 screws out from the bottom here, and it's going to slide out. We've got a missing screw, but there's another one there, and literally, hard drive slides out. Now, on other laptops, it's going to be under a panel here, or in the worst case scenario, on some laptops, you've got to take the whole sodding thing apart. So have a hunt around, see how easily accessible the hard drive on your laptop is. Right, and now what we're going to do, we're going to plug that into our guest computer. Now me personally, I have a specialist rig set up for this. I've got a USB 3 dock here that's permanently plugged into my workstation, so at any time I can just plonk a hard drive straight in like that. If you don't have one of these, your other methods are to use a USB bridge such as this one. This one is just salvaged from a hard drive enclosure, but you can buy these. They're less than 20 quid. Very useful tool to have in your kit. So at any rate, get it connected to your computer. If you really want to, you can also take the side panel off of the desktop computer and connect your hard drive up via serial ATA. Literally just plug it into one of the SATA interfaces. Laptop hard drives will connect to desktops just fine. It's all the same connector. Okay, so now we're connected up to our guest computer. We're going to once again open up Registry Editor. So it doesn't matter if your host computer is on a different version of Windows. Any version of Windows will do as long as you've got Regedit. And let's just roll this back up to the top. Right, and literally the same drill as with Hiren's boot CD. I'm going to select HKey local machine, and I'm going to load a hive. And once again, from the main computer, I'm going to go to the guest drive. Then I'm going to go Windows, System32, Config, and Software. Open that, give it a temporary name. Once again, I'm going to use Dell just so I can recognize it. And there is our mounted hive. So we go into that, and once again, Microsoft Windows NT, current version, profile list, and surprise, surprise, once again, there are our profiles. Now, as you can see, because I've done this like 3 times on the trot now, this one is actually already fixed. But once again, you want to identify which one has the correct profile. So have a look at each one and check which one leads to the legitimate profile path, which should be something along the lines of users and then your name. So, and then rename the extension as appropriate. So make sure that the correct profile has no extension, and your temporary ones, just rename those to old or old 2. Now theoretically you can delete these ones, however there's no need to delete them really. It's better just to rename them, just so in the event of a problem you can always revert your changes. It's also good just because it leaves behind a sign of any work that's been done. Like for example on this one, because I have 2 of them, I know that I've had this problem with this laptop before. So that leads us on to part 4 of this video, which we'll get to in just a moment. So once you've finished, once again, go all the way back up to the top of your loaded profile, and then go File, then go File, Unload Hive. And that's going to make sure that that hive has been saved and closed properly. Okay, now method 3. This one is my least favorite method because it's the most complicated to prep for. However, what we're going to do, we're going to boot the laptop using Hiren's boot CD. This is a free bootable CD with numerous tools and utilities on it that is freely downloadable from the internet. You need to download the ISO and burn it to a DVD. If you don't know how to do this, have a quick Google search and you'll come up with a million ways of doing that. So I'm going to put that in the laptop and boot from it. Now, on Dells, you spam the F12 key at the Dell screen, and it will give us the boot options. I'm going to select the DVD drive. On other laptops, it may vary. Usually it's either it's going to be one of the high F keys, somewhere between F8 and F12. Watch your boot screen, it will tell you which it is. So let's start from that, and we'll just give that a moment to start up. And then what we need is the mini Windows XP environment. This is the other reason why I don't like this method, because XP needs to die, but whatever. Okay, now as you can see, we've got a horridly familiar classic environment here. Now, once again, we're going to go Start, Run, Regedit. Now, this one is slightly different because what we need to do, we need to load a hive from another system here. Because if what we're looking at here, this is the mini XP registry. So we're going to go to HKey local machine, we need to make sure that's highlighted, and then we go to File, Load Hive, and drill in through My Computer, Local Disk, Windows, System32, then Config, and then Software. Ignore anything that's log or anything like that, literally just software. Open that. Now we're going to give it the temporary name Dell. Call it whatever you want. And as you can see, we now have Dell up there. So we're going to go Dell, Microsoft, Windows NT, current version, profile list. Now we'll just maximize this again. And as you can see, if you were watching the start of the video, once again we've got our various profiles. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rename the temporary profile as .old2. I'm going to change the backup one to no extensions. And that's it, we're now finished. Now, the last item of business here is we need to go all the way back up to Dell and we need to unload this hive. That will make sure that this is all saved and it's all been safely dismounted. And we close that and we shut down. And that's it. On the restart, once again, your profile will be fixed. Now, the last item of business on the computer is you need to ask yourself the question, why did it go wrong in the first place? Now, there are two common reasons for this problem to appear. The most common reason is a botched Windows update, where Windows installed an update, it didn't do it properly, and it botched the user profile. Now, the solution to this is once you've done it, go into your computer, go into Control Panel and manually make sure that update is installed. Make sure all the updates are correctly installed and the system is happy. If there are further problems with that, that's getting into a bit of a different issue, which I'm not going to cover in this video. But the long and the short of it is, check your Windows updates, make sure it's up to date. Now, the second thing that may have gone wrong is the hard drive could be failing. Hard drive failure does plague most laptops at some point in their lifetime, and files becoming corrupted is an early sign of hard drive failure. So run a hard drive test. I'm pretty certain there's one on Hiren's boot CD actually, or if not, you can download something like CTools for Windows, which is a free test that will make sure your hard drive is okay. And if your hard drive is not okay, that's where you need to be looking next. So past that, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to bash them in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.